All right, guys. So let me know. Is that any better? Let me know if we have any better of an issue with this. I'm going to try to get back into my chat stream. The video seems good. I don't know why we're having problems with the audio. So you guys got to tell me if that looks any better, sounds any better, and I will tweak accordingly. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, so apparently we I don't know if it's any better. I don't see any of you guys on here right now, but hopefully you'll get there. So Omarosa writes this book. I think it was a terrible, terrible move. And I think the writing a book when you're given a life, a career, a brand, wealth, influence by somebody, writing a book slamming them is about the worst thing you can do to these people. But the worst thing you can do to anybody who's much better. Audio's better. All right, good. Yeah, I had to do a reboot, guys. Very sorry. I don't really know how to tell some of our people. Let me put this out on Twitter. But I don't know how to tell some of our people that we're, that we're live, quite honestly, on this channel. So let me tell some of our people here via Twitter that we are live. All righty. That should do it. All right. So anyway, so Omarosa goes out and she writes this book, and I get it. Like, you want to leave the White House, you want to write a book, but you don't bite the hand that feeds. You don't go out there and you don't just try to destroy a person who took care of you because, well, you were unceremoniously kicked out of the White House, which is exactly what happened to this woman. She was kicked out of the White House. Sources in D.C. told me that Omarosa was very upset that she no longer had, under General Kelly, full access to the president. She couldn't just waltz into the Oval Office whenever she wanted. And so that annoyed her to the point where she felt she was more well-connected than the chief of staff, tried to push by him. And, well, let's just say that didn't go all that well. That didn't go all that well. Now, she lost her job. People do in the White House. People lose their jobs. That happens. Like, deal with it. You're an adult. But what you don't do is go and write a book full of, well, what appear to be lies. So you've got now Omarosa out there, and what she's peddling, it's the lead on Drudge today. The lead on Drudge is Omarosa drops bombs. And what they're talking about is that the headline, anyway, on NBC News, and NBC is far left. They hate Trump. They hate Trump supporters. They would love to vilify and excoriate us all. It's Omarosa claims she heard Trump N-word tape. So she goes on Meet the Press and she tries to say that she heard a tape of Trump talking to somebody else in the Oval Office, Frank Luntz, the pollster, in which Trump used the N-word, racial slurs. That should never have been allowed on air. That should never have been. I heard a tape of somebody telling something to another person, and I'm going to present it as fact. Well, anyway. Frank Luntz, the pollster, who, by the way, is no fan of Trump, he was calling the race for Hillary. Frank Luntz said during, he was on Twitter, he said, I never said that. And Donald Trump never said that. And I was the guy he was talking to, and it never happened. Furthermore, nobody ever called me to ask me if Omarosa's claims are true. So now we're at a point. We're at a point in history with this president where you can make things up, where you can claim the guy's a racist, where you can just say, he's the worst person in the world. And I heard a tape from 2 years ago in which the president of the United States was spewing hatred and racial slurs. I'm not going to play you the tape. I'm not going to prove it exists. I'm not going to ask the other people on the tape for comment. I'm going to, well, appears to be make it up as I go along and claim this, and you, the mainstream media, are going to just run it as fact. That's a really big problem. Really big. Wow. Michigan and Scotland. And so Petra Heinrich says they'll keep claiming it until something sticks, unfortunately. Yeah, but nothing's sticking. Nothing is sticking because there's nothing to stick. That's the problem right now. There's nothing to stick. Trump really didn't do anything wrong. From people who worked in the White House, people on the campaign, and people very close to the president. So this is one thing I learned over the weekend. Well, Omarosa is a pariah to Democrats. She's a pariah to Republicans. She's a pariah to the media industry, but for the shows that want to bring Trump down. But they won't give her a job. Not going to give her a job. Not going to let her work for them. So this is a woman who went out, burned every bridge. Chris AQD Norway, 12B engineer says, I'm coming through 5 by 5. Red alert 2, Lake of the Ozarks. Awesome. Now, Bicentennial Nagger says, just watched 4 people cited as witnesses disavow everything Omarosa said about Trump, about POTUS. Exactly. Everyone is coming out and debunking her book. So her credibility went from here to here. It's done. She has none. Graham Shawcross says, I like U.S. politics. It takes my mind off the disaster that is UK politics. You know, I saw a really interesting tidbit that I forget her name, Cressida Dick, the commissioner of the London Metropolitan Police Force, was investigating Boris Johnson for making negative comments about burqas. This is what the commissioner of one of the largest police agencies in the world is focused on. Burqa comments. When crime is off the charts in London right now, it has disproportionate crime, gun crime in a gun-free country. All right, the master says, hello from Ireland, the land of virtue is everything. Cameron Steele says, I don't think you should be able to cover your face in public. Oh, you should be. Why not? It just shouldn't be a crime to mock it. Native Indian says, all politics is drama. All politics is drama. Yeah, it is. It is. Politics is really, really good, incredible, amazing theater. Robert Obot says Omarosa is going to get crushed. She's too naive and doesn't get what's going on around her. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Well, let me take that back. She's not naive. She's vindictive and malicious. She's just a bad person. She's a bad person. She knows what's going on around her. She knows that the appetite in the publishing world, in the mainstream media world, is such that if you bash this president, this White House, this administration, you'll get a 7-figure book deal, as she did. 7-figure book deal. And it appears most of it, well, is lies. Most of it is lies. But see, it doesn't matter. You don't have to tell the truth. As long as you're going to come out, get on camera, and bash Trump and call him a bad guy and a racist and say people should vote for Democrats and that he's the most horrible human being alive. It doesn't need to be true. They will pay you. The media elites will pay you a lot of money. They'll pay you. And that's a problem. That's very problematic. Kim Jameson says Denmark banned the burqa. Yeah, look, in the U.S., we don't ban religious symbols. Listen, this is the United States. You want to walk down the street with your face covered, do it. Do it. I want to mock you, should be my right. And it is here in the U.S. My First Amendment right. It's unfortunate that other countries don't have that. Other countries don't have it. Bicentennial Niagara says, sounds like you were screaming at a rally all night and are in need of a lozenge. No, my allergies are, it's bad. It is just terrible. I'm in South Florida. I've got no voice. I haven't had a voice for days, the whole weekend. My allergies are raging. Bad, bad, bad. Bad, bad, bad. All right, so Bigwig asks, what do I think about a recording General Kelly? I was getting there. So a lot of bad information on that, all right? On Twitter, everybody wants to be an expert and everybody wants to sound informed, okay? And many people are not. So when we talk about Omarosa recording General Kelly, I'm on Twitter and I'm on Facebook and everybody wants to be an expert and sound like they understand the intelligence community and how, oh, she recorded General Kelly in the Situation Room. That's a skiff, a secure compartment. It's not a skiff. All right. The sit room is not a skiff. You can bring a phone into the Situation Room, but it should be your government phone. Now, there's where the problem lies. Well, there's two problems. If she recorded General Kelly saying something, saying something sensitive or classified, she has a problem. Or if she used a government phone to record, or a government device to record what was happening in the Situation Room, and then she transferred data, sound familiar, from that government device to a private device, then used it to try to claim some nefarious doings on the part of the Trump administration, she possibly violated the law. Now, there's a comment here. And again, I try to explain this to you guys all the time. Somebody wrote, demonstrated softly, you can't enter a bank with a mask covering your face. A bank is a private business. They can set whatever rules they want. A sidewalk is public. You can do whatever you want. You want to cover your face. You want to cover your whole body. If you walk into a business, the business can tell you, uncover your First Amendment. Grossly misunderstand the First Amendment. The First Amendment protections extend to public venues. Public venues. They do not extend to the sidewalk. And what I was saying before we froze a little bit, we're still tweaking the stream. A lot of people misunderstand the First Amendment. They say, well, if you go on Twitter, your First Amendment, you don't have any First Amendment rights on Twitter. All right. You don't have any First Amendment rights on Facebook. You go into a private venue, a bank, a bar, a restaurant. They can tell you not to cover your face. They're not the public square. They're not the public arena. All right. They're private venues. Doesn't my government, King Blue says, have an official secret act that bans people from discussing things they picked up while working in government? No, that would be a First Amendment violation. If it's classified, you can't disclose it. But if it's not, you can talk about whatever you want. You could say that so-and-so, Congressperson so-and-so did this. It's up to you. They drank too much. They messed around on their husband or wife. That's your prerogative. YouTube is owned by Google. That should give me the answer. Well, look, we know where Silicon Valley stands. All right, we know. They're not fooling anybody anymore. They're not. They're not fooling anyone. And let's face it, this Department of Justice will do nothing. Nothing. If Omarosa transferred sensitive info from a government device to a private device, this Department of Justice will do nothing. They didn't do it to Hillary. They didn't do it to Huma Abedin, to Cheryl Mills. They will do absolutely nothing. 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 They should, but this DOJ has one mission: taking down Donald Trump. Now, with everything we've learned recently, with all the new info on Fusion GPS, on Bruce Orr, on his wife, Nellie Orr, Jeff Sessions is an epic. Jeff Sessions is a silent assassin. I don't want to hear any of that nonsense. All right. Norman Smith donated. Thank you, Norman. Censorship is un-American. So what I was saying was our Department of Justice is a joke. It is a disgrace. And our Attorney General is the biggest disgrace. All right. I don't want to hear trust the plan, all this QAnon nonsense. No. Our Attorney General does nothing. I tell you this every day. There is no plan. There is no 5D chess. Things behind Huber. Oh my God. You forget that he appointed Huber. Huber is a nothing. It's a nothing. Nothing. Okay. Huber reports to Rod Rosenstein, the deputy AG, the guy architecting this soft coup alongside Mueller. Inquisitor of Keck says Sessions does collect a paycheck. He does that. Yes, he does. That's about it. Oh, and he goes out there and he talks about illegal weed, asset seizure, MS-13. See you later, in general, in U.S. history. The man does. No, I am not Ezra. Somebody said, what is the name of the person you're watching? I'm John Cardillo. And I did another show on the Rebel. Now I do this live show. Should have probably put that somewhere over here. Hey, Smokey, how are you? Yeah, Luke Viano says he loves that new trend of the Democrats. Fascinating new trend. Defending MS-13. Look, liberals, Democrats in the U.S. hate you. They hate you. They hate what you like. They hate what makes you safe. They hate what makes you prosperous. They despise you. They want you to die. They want MS-13 to kill you, to rape you. They're not normal. They're not normal. Now we are going to ban a troll. There we go. That helped. So they hate you. They despise you. Yeah, YouTube is down throttling us. And I had so you guys know, the reason I was off for 2 days last week is I had an extensive rewiring done of the studio and the hub outside to try to fix this web issue. And really, I'm at my wit's end. I don't know what's going on. Inquisitor of Keck says, get rid of Sessions, hire Gowdy. That man's been chomping at the bit for years to do something. Oh, no, he hasn't. No. Trey Gowdy is deep state all the way. He barks and barks and barks and barks, but he does nothing. It's a dog and pony show. Trey Gowdy is sent out there by Marco Rubio and John McCain and Lindsey Graham, who he calls his uncle, and he gives you a good show to shut you up. Trey Gowdy would be a Diz and Barnes says Gowdy is all talk. Exactly. Michelle Chiquita says Gowdy is a paper doll. Exactly. Trey Gowdy is a paper tiger. He will never do anything. All talk, no action. All talk, no action. So apparently we're not the only ones. A lot of streams are being throttled. All right. Trinoculus P, exactly right. Gowdy will go and make more money as a lobbyist or consultant. It's exactly what he's going to do. But let's talk about DOJ. So you've got this terrible attorney general. DOJ is a disaster. Now we're finding out that Bruce Orr, before he was demoted, was the number 4 man at DOJ. Number 4. Bruce Orr, his wife Nellie Orr, was the Russia specialist at where? You know, Fusion GPS, the Russia specialist. She's feeding her husband all this bogus info. Bruce Orr has something like 68 meetings with Fusion GPS, where his wife works. And DOJ takes their information as gospel, as law, and uses it against a sitting president. It's bad to the point I don't even know how to explain it. I mean, so bad. So bad. But nothing is happening. Jeff Sessions sits idly by. Rod Rosenstein allows Mueller, his good buddy, to do what he wants to do. And the world just goes on and on and on. Somebody goes, Gowdy is a chihuahua. Yeah. Look, Gowdy has no interest in bringing down anybody. He's one of them. Gowdy is one of them. Keck says, Scaramucci for AG? No. I think Trump needs to bring in a very experienced lawyer who's loyal to him. Scaramucci has been out there bashing Trump. Bashing him. I had Scaramucci on another show I do, and he was very tepid. Very tepid. Working to be self-sufficient, says, is Mueller connected to Fusion GPS? Well, indirectly. Yeah. Indirectly, yes. Through the DOJ people and through Comey and McCabe. Mueller's a bad guy. Bad guy. He's a bad guy. Mueller does not have integrity. He's not this man of integrity. I ran a poll yesterday or the day before. Let's see what the results were. My question on the poll on Twitter, now unscientific, informal, 2,304 votes. And my poll was, is Mueller, number 1, conducting an honest, ethical, and impartial investigation? Or number 2, conducting a rigged witch hunt hoax against Trump? 90% of the 2,300 people who voted felt it's a rigged witch hunt. All right? 90%. 90%. So that tells you something right there. People do not trust Robert Mueller. They simply don't. And there's no reason to. The guy is not ethical. The guy is not honest. The guy was put there for one reason, to topple this administration. That's why. That's it. And, you know, when I get morons, I don't know why people think they're going to be able to ban you from the stream. All we do is ban you from the stream. That's all we do. Now, we're going to be self-sufficient. Don't get involved in conspiracy theories. You want to look at Mueller and what he was doing during 9/11. Mueller was the U.S. attorney for the Northern District of California before he was appointed FBI director. So don't buy into all these crazy conspiracies. Look, the truth is more damning to a lot of these deep state actors than conspiracies. It's a witch hunt. If the Boy Scout were all honest, John, he wouldn't have staffed himself up with the people he has. That's entirely aside from his ethics, which are lousy of themselves. MD. Yes, about Mueller. Right. He would have at least 1 or 2 people on his team who donated to Trump. 1 or 2. Kim Jameson, Mueller delivered the uranium to Russia. I know, but you know what? Government envoys do that all the time. So They do it all the time. Bicentennial Nagger, I just read about Mueller and Comey's relationship regarding Lockheed Martin. Yeah. Oh, so well, you know, the corporate councils are corporate councils. Trinoculus wants to get into Chicago policing. I'm going to do that this week. It's a long and intricate and convoluted topic. The law of ones, am I a journo by trade? No, I'm not a journalist by trade. I was a law enforcement guy who got into media about 10 years ago. And not a journalist, but, you know, try to follow those rules. I don't like to spew nonsense and conspiracies. Yeah. So I'm going to be doing the Chicago crime story. A lot going on there. I've got to go back to my experience at NYPD in the 90s and kind of explain to you what I think Chicago's doing wrong. In short, they got to let their cops be cops. And we've conflated letting cops be cops with wanting police to be abusive and unconstitutional. And that's not the case. It's not the case at all. You can aggressively police. You can reduce crime, protect the city, while doing it aggressively, proactively, but professionally and constitutionally. No, I am not drinking out of a jam jar. I'm drinking out of a really cool glass. Because Australia is home to the most dangerous animals on earth. The place is terrifying. I don't know how people survive there. No, it's not. They only have crocs and poisonous snakes. No. Chicago is home to some of the most dangerous animals on earth. They kill you with guns. The Constitution is the highest law of the land, Smokey says. Well, Constitution is not really a law. Constitution explains to government what the Constitution is a manifesto of negative rights. Sounds bad, right? No, but it's great. Negative rights are those that tell government what they cannot do. Positive rights are what government grants you. Government gives you the right to free speech. But not here in the U.S. We have negative rights, which are far more powerful. You've always had a right to free speech. The Constitution is simply reminding government that it can't infringe upon that right. That's very different than government giving you that right, because if they give it to you, what can they do? They can take it away. Bicentennial Nagger, got to go to work. See you tomorrow. And Smokey says inalienable rights. Yes, but even let's take it a step further. The government doesn't grant them. We've always had them. They're ours. The Constitution is telling government, you cannot do this, you cannot do that, you cannot do that, you cannot do that. The liberals see it differently. The liberals want to give government the power to take rights away. Conservatives want to extend the definition, extend the list of things the government cannot do. And therein lies a very, very significant difference between liberals and conservatives. Very, very. Even Steve Irwin died in Australia. I don't think he did. I don't think he did. Let me see where he died. I think Steve Irwin, let's see what this is going to tell us. Oh, he did die in Australia. He got whacked by a stingray. I remember that. But hey, that can happen anywhere, you know. And poor Steve Irwin, poor guy. Actually, yes. M46539612. Australia's a death trap. Kangaroos, snakes, spiders, ticks, crocs, scorpions, drop bears, SJWs. You can't walk outside without a cannon. Joseph Sophia says, Eliakim, didn't Omarosa marry a Democrat? Yeah, she married to a pastor, a Democrat from Jacksonville, Florida. Yep. Because she's a Dem. Because she's a Dem. Jean Maria says, you blocked me. No, we didn't block you. Why would we block you? We love you. Let's see what else we got. They lost the war to birds. Birds. Who lost the war to birds? Capadaseo says, I wish the Norwegian politicians didn't use the Norwegian constitution as toilet paper. Well, a lot of Americans do as well. A lot of liberals here in America do as well. Working to be self-sufficient says, I'm by Jacksonville, Florida, 45 minutes away in the country, though. Nice part of the state. I'm down in South Florida. Way down in South Florida. Way, way down at the bottom. So, yeah, look, stuff we've been talking about. Omarosa and our dumb book, Bruce Orr and DOJ. There is a lot of dysfunction in D.C. Inquisitor of Kex in Sarasota, get a lot of Florida in the house. All right, Adam Bowser. Is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez for real? She seems too good to be true. Oh, she's for real. Trinoculus from Houston. Love that city. She seems too good to be true. Well, it depends. Yes, she is. 12B engineers in Atlanta. Atlanta. Another great city. Another great one. Ocasio-Cortez is the gift that keeps giving. Working to be self-sufficient says. She called her Ortiz. It's a good shortening of it, I guess. She mean Ocasio-Cortez. Well, the Democratic Party wants her. They want her. Let them have her. Let them have her all day long. So, my God, I hope so. I love that he's not turned down Shapiro and Liz Wheeler for debate. She's just ignored them. But I also don't like this trend among conservatives, this stunt nonsense. I'll donate 10,000. I'll give 25. Why? Why are you giving her campaign anything? Invite her on your show. And if she says no, stop. 25,000, 100,000, 500,000. It's stupid. It's stupid. It's stunt journalism. It's stunt reporting. I don't like it. I don't like it. Why do you got to give her campaign anything? Hey, will you come on my show and talk about the issues? No, you're a coward. Why do I got to bribe you to do that? Paul Hankinson says, what do you think about Shapiro? I like Ben. I know Ben. He's a good guy. You know, I get what he did. I wouldn't do it, but I get what he did. But I wouldn't ask, you know, I wouldn't offer anybody $10,000 to come on my show. I just wouldn't do that. Craig Callister, do I think Rebel Media is likely to get taken down off of the internet at any stage, just like InfoWars? Well, InfoWars was conspiracy theory, lunacy. They were an easy target. No, I don't think the Rebel's going to be taken down. We vet our work. We're a little more journalistically, we have a little more journalistic integrity. InfoWars turned out a good report. Then Alex Jones, you know, spewed crazy conspiracy nonsense. Smokey says Shapiro is slightly annoying, but decent. Look, Ben's a smart guy. I like the guy. He's got his style. It is what it is. Bribes are the only way to get to the Dems. Nah. Look, we can beat the Dems up. You don't have to bribe. You don't have to offer anybody 10 grand to be on your show. 25 grand to be. It's silly. It's silly. You look desperate. Oh, come on my show. I can't get you normally. I got to pay you. And then she goes on NBC. It just looks silly. I don't like it. I don't want to bribe anybody to do their job of being a candidate. All right. I don't want to do that. There's no need for that. Alex Jones lost me when he was doing the chemtrails BS. Yeah, I don't watch it. I don't like that Alex Jones was censored, and I don't like they pulled his channel down. He had 1 billion YouTube views over 10 years, but his BS on 9/11 and on Sandy Hook and on chemtrails and Russian air bases in upstate New York, is a moron. And the screaming and the yelling and the theatrics. I just think Alex Jones is a moron. Eldorado says Jones is right 90% of the time. No, he's not. Maybe 50. Maybe 50. Not right 90% of the time. Believe me. Jones did nothing of the sort, so they have a clip to make him look bad. Nick at Night says about chemtrails. Well, it's not true. Stop. Stop. They're his videos. Alex Jones has put out a lot of just terrible work. Horrible work that made people dumber, that made them spew conspiracy theories, that made them stupid. Sometimes, as Smokey says, he's very right. The majority of the time, it's craziness. I don't like stunts. I don't like stunts. Trinoculus says Alex Jones is very entertaining. I wouldn't use him as a primary source of info. Yes. Yes. Craig Callister says Alex Jones is trying to warn people with a lot of what he was saying, and of course, a lot of it was wrong. Yeah, but you can warn people and not lie and not make things up. Inquisitor of Keck says, I can't tell if you're talking about Alex Jones or CNN. Now, listen, CNN, you guys hear me every day. They should label themselves what they are. Not news. At least you know what you get with Alex Jones. You know what you're getting. You're getting a guy who screams and yells about conspiracy theories, a little kooky. CNN should just be honest. Very honest. We are far left opinion and commentary. We're not news. And if they did that, everybody be fine. Everybody be fine. Hangman John Ruth says, John, I watch you every day because I get it from you straight and to the point. Great job, brother. Thanks, man. Look, I would have a bigger audience if I screamed and yelled and ranted and made things up. A much bigger audience. I know that. I know that. But I ain't going to do it. It ain't going to happen. I'm just not that guy. I'm not going to lie, and I'm not going to scream, and I'm not going to yell. I'm just not going to do it. And our stream was a little better today. We got a couple of little bits of buffering. Comcast's actually going to be here all week fixing the stream, but I didn't want to fixing the rewiring everything around the studio. But I didn't want to not bring you a show. MD says, John, anything new on the Broward County front? No. Of course, they're talking about the Parkland shooting, the removal of the sheriff. No. No. Jean Marie S. says, Mark Levin gets very angry. It is very credible. Look, Mark is angry because he does his homework. Mark does not make things up. Mark does not make things up. Nick at Night says, you have a huge page on Sandy Hook called Nobody Died at Sandy Hook, still going at Facebook. I don't have a page on Sandy Hook saying nobody died there. Not me. Not me. And nobody I'm affiliated with has any of that nonsense. No. Nope. Wrong. Wrong. I don't have that. I've never put a page like that up. And no one I've ever affiliated with put a page like that up. Mark Levin is a lawyer who researches and researches and researches. When you listen to Mark, you're talking to the smartest guy in the room. Not so with Alex Jones. Do I think Craig Callister says, do you think Alex Jones was intentionally lying with what you said he lies about? Or do you think he actually believed that he was saying? I think Alex Jones knows his brand and his audience, and he plays to them. And he plays to them. So, you know. Nick at Night said, sorry, not you, but going. Yeah, well, that's up to Facebook. Facebook should bring that page down if it's saying nobody died in Sandy Hook in Newtown, Connecticut. Oh, lost my pen. Stand by. Facebook should pull that page right down. But they won't. But they won't. And 12B Engineer says, Jones is an actor, that's all. Now, Smokey is talking about Millennial Millie. I don't know who that is. Let's see who that is. No idea who that is. Oh, I guess she's somebody who works. Oh, I know who she is. She works over at InfoWars. Millie Weaver. I think maybe we follow each other on Twitter. I don't really know anything about her. Like I said, I don't watch that stuff. I don't watch the conspiratorial websites. They're just not for me, you know? I don't watch them. I don't follow them. I just don't subscribe to them. I just don't. Trinoculus, I really like Steve Deese too. Yeah, Steve turns out some good work. Big never Trumper. Steve and I got into it. If I know Steve's a nice enough guy. Big hates Donald Trump. Hates him. Hates Donald Trump. Yeah, now I know who Millie Weaver is. I just didn't know she was called Millennial Millie. That's all. Yeah, she's a cute girl. I haven't ever watched any of her work. You know, I don't know much about her at all. Don't know much about her at all. She, I guess she works for InfoWars. That's about it. That's all I've been able to find out. They are not always 100% conspiratorial on all their shows, but Alex conflates many topics, Smokey. And that's the problem. You know, I don't want to see anybody censored. I don't have to agree with you. I just don't want to see you censored. A lot of these names you guys are throwing at me, I don't know who they are. I don't watch these conspiracy YouTube videos. I just don't do it. I don't. It's not my thing. I don't watch them. I don't listen to them. I do my own research. And you know, I just not my thing. Not my thing. You know, a lot of people send me stuff. And the sad part is that one of the things I don't like about these conspiracy theory sites is that they've given people a false sense of what a story is. So somebody will send me something that looks really good and it's got legs, a story, say hypothetically on Robert Mueller. And they'll then start sending me emails. And the first one will make a lot of sense. And I'll say, wow, there might actually be something here. But then the follow-ups have this insanity to them where it goes from Mueller might have perjured himself in a drug case when he was a U.S. attorney. Totally plausible. Then it goes to the drugs were being sent to a, you know, pedophile Satanist group and all of Hollywood was at the table when they were sacrificing children. I mean, it gets nutty. It gets nutty. And so in that craziness, there are probably some gold nuggets, but you can't get to them because everybody's so focused on being the most sensational and the pedophile stuff. Attract predators. And I can tell you, there are not these massive networks of pedophiles weaving through life. But it's a hot topic and everybody wants to go pedophile. And it bothers me because most people doing that never had to deal with the victims, the children. They're pedophile. Oh, look at this pedophile. You don't even know what a pedophile is. They never had to deal with the victims. They've never done the investigations. They just point things out for clicks or tweets or likes on their Facebook posts because that's the topic. That's the hot topic du jour. Pedophile. And it gets tiring. And when we have to sift through that. So Gavin McInnes was, a lot of people talking about Gavin. Gavin was banned from Twitter. Full disclosure. Gavin's a good friend of mine. I spoke to Gavin that night. It's ridiculous. Gavin used to be with us here at the Rebel. He's a very good friend of ours. Gavin is about the nicest guy you'll ever meet. You take his public persona where he's snarky and tough and fiery, and that's what he believes. But if you sit down and you have dinner with Gavin, he's talking about his kids, his family. He is one of the nicest, most soft-spoken, genuinely good guys you will ever meet. And what Twitter did to him is disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. Gavin is a brilliant comedian and satirist. One of the funniest guys you'll ever meet. If you think Gavin is funny on his videos, have dinner with the guy. I had steak with Gavin not long ago. We went out for a steak. He had me laughing to the point I was in tears for dinner and then drinks at the bar afterward. He is absolutely hilarious. He's just a great guy. What they did to him was disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. And Moose said he's bloody brilliant. He is. He's one of the smartest guys you'll ever meet. Witty and funny and quick. He is absolutely hilarious and a good person. And a guy who knows exactly where the line is and doesn't cross it. And his satire is on point, and that's what it is, satire. And the left couldn't have that. They couldn't have it. Couldn't have it. They had to take him down. They had to take him down because he was popular and likable and he made sense. And it was ridiculous. And on the Gavin issue, I'm a little fired up because the guy's a friend. The guy's a personal friend. And I really like the guy. And it was just ridiculous. Nick at Night says, because I don't agree with Jones, it was okay. No, it wasn't. No. You obviously haven't been watching my shows. I think what they did to Alex Jones is reprehensible and wrong. I don't agree with Alex. I don't watch Alex. But I will fight to the end for Alex to have his platform, to be able to disseminate his content. What was done to Alex Jones is disgraceful. And I can't say enough. I can't scream it loud enough how terrible it was. I want to see Alex back on every channel. All right? I don't have to agree with the guy. I don't have to like his content to want him to be able to broadcast it. You, if you're his fan, should be able to get his content wherever you want. God bless you. God bless him. I don't have to agree with Alex to defend his right to broadcast. I think what they did to him was friggin', I was going to say something else. Terrible. Terrible. Yeah. No, Nick, no problem. I know I beat Alex up a little bit for his content. I don't agree with it. But, man, I never want to see. I want every liberal site out there to be able to broadcast. No. I think what they did to Alex was terrible. Terrible. I think what they did to Gavin was terrible. What they did to Milo Yiannopoulos. Milo's another one I don't like. I think he's a stunt guy. I think Milo does a big disservice to the conservative movement with a lot of his nonsense, but should never have banned him. Far left accounts did things far worse than anything Milo's ever done. Far worse. They didn't get banned. Disgraceful. I don't want to see anybody censored and shut down. Anybody. Ever. No. Never. So, yeah, I don't have to agree with you to want to see you be able to broadcast. I don't. It's, no. What they did to Alex was reprehensible, and they did it all in a very cowardly way. And you know it was a coordinated effort because LinkedIn banned the guy. Forgotten Millennials donated. Thank you, Forgotten Millennials. They asked, do I think the deep state will use Adobe voice software to make a fake N-word tape? No. No, I don't think they're going to go that far because it could be debunked. I don't think they'll go that far. What they'll do is they'll put Omarosa on more and more. And then when Omarosa goes, oh, I was mistaken, that'll get buried on like page 38. And nobody will broadcast her apology. My rule of truth in news, Copadasao says, if it contains a concoction of something private, something people love, and something people fear, it's most likely poison. Yeah. Snoopy's N100 says President Trump can use the antitrust laws to protect the First Amendment. Maybe. I don't want to see regulation being imposed to protect the First Amendment. I don't want to see that. So that wouldn't work for me. All right, guys, we are at the end of our run for this morning. I will be back with you tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern, right here on the Rebel YouTube channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. Looks like we got our stream issues fixed. Hopefully, we're going to have them fully fixed by the end of the week, but I'm going to be with you every day while they're working through it. The worst of it is past. You guys have a great one. I'll see you tomorrow.